All right, where'd your name come from?
My name pretty much come from where I was brought up. You know, pretty much helps me remember where I come from. Also, you know, like I say, Gutta Child. Pretty much a name like that never let me forget where I came from.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Augusta, Georgia.
And what's your opinion of the state of rap music right now in Georgia?
In Georgia, right now, I think, you know, that's where the best music coming from. The state of Georgia, pretty much. I don't care where you go in the country, or artists from Atlanta or, you know, the South period is, you know, definitely have a big influence and an impact on the music industry today.
Now, give me a tour of the city of Augusta for someone that's never been there before. Let's start with the food. Favorite food spot in the city?
My favorite food spot in the city would probably be probably Carrabba's on Washington Road. I'm a big fan of the Italian food. It's a pretty nice spot.
Now, that's a commercial spot. You got more like a mom and pop spot, maybe a spot that's exclusive just for...
most definitely. It's a couple of those spots, man. You got Kay's, Buffalo. You got Woody's Barbecue. You got Denny's Barbecue. You know, Zach's. Not Zaxby's, but Zach's. Got some of the best food. So if you're ever in the city, definitely check that out.
Now, describe what kind of places all those were you just named.
Pretty much soul food spots, you know, whatever you want, barbecue, chicken, you know, macaroni, just that, you know, a good southern food.
And what do you usually order from some of those places?
Me, man, you know, ribs, macaroni, cabbage, cornbread, you know.
Pork or beef?
Ribs. Beef.
Now, what about the nightlife? Is there a nightlife in Augusta?
Yeah, I mean, it's something what it is, a nightlife in Augusta.
Strip clubs, regular clubs?
Just regular clubs. There's a couple of regular spots that be, you know, popping. You got the S Bar, Level 9, Flame, Sky City, places like that.
What's your favorite nightclub out there?
It would probably be S Bar.
Now, how far, you know, just for people that might not be familiar with Augusta, how far is that from city of Atlanta?
It's only about an hour and a half, probably about right at 100 miles.
So when you want to go to a strip club, you come to Atlanta, I assume?
Yep. I'm up there on the regular, back and forth. So.
Now, we talked about the food a little bit. We talked about the nightlife.
Right.
Any other spots you recommend someone first time coming to Augusta, maybe to see or check out or do while they're in town, if anything?
Pretty much just the downtown atmosphere right now, you know, as far as, you know, different types of, you know, it serves different types of people. There's more variety of things downtown, so, you know, downtown Augusta most definitely I would prefer someone who's just coming to the city to visit.
Now, what about the lingo? What are some terms or some phrases one might hear in the city of Augusta right about now?
Oh, man, it's crazy. For example, if I say, if someone was to say, you never even went there, or we would chalk that into saying like, you ain't even did that shit, or you ain't even let that, you wouldn't even let that, you know what I'm saying? Neen, most definitely. It's like lazy, more so lazy terminology. A lot of things get shortened, so it's pretty much funny. Like, so it's a lot of more so lazy slang in Augusta. If I would have to describe that.
Now, what about event-wise? Are there any events you recommend someone come to Augusta specifically for? Like, for example, in New Orleans, Mardi Gras is like a week-long situation out there.
Right. They pretty much let that die down in the city, man. You had, like, you know, back in the day, we had like Power Fest and May Fest, but, you know, the city kind of, you know, let that kind of die down.
Why?
Probably because the population of people and the violence and crime rate in the city. So it's, you know, I guess for safety precautions.
Now let's take it back a little bit.
Okay.
What type of student were you in school?
Actually, I I was an AB student, man, up until, I dropped out of school, which was, probably one of the, worst decisions I ever made, from seeing, how things transpired with me growing up and me getting older and me realizing how important education really is. But I was an AB student up until the day I walked out of school, and there's a lot of stuff going on around me, in the streets as far as, me dealing with money and me dealing with, all type of situations at a young age, pretty much caused me to lose focus, in school. But all in all, I was a, 3.0 GPA.
Now, what was the reasoning why you dropped out?
Just money, me seeing and dealing with the type of money I was dealing with and the things that I was dealing with around me on a daily basis really, caused me to lose focus.
What grade did you drop out?
11th grade. Yeah, 16 years old.
Ever had thoughts about going to get your GED?
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's definitely a goal of mine.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
Well, I think I did work when I was back in, I was in high school, I believe. I was working at the gym, and they had a dollar movie in Washington Road. I remember like 16, 17. That shit probably last like 3 months maybe. Man, I was right out of there and, back to what I was doing, back to the fast money. So.
Any crazy stories dealing with that job?
Nah, I wasn't even there long enough to be, to be honest, man. And it was so long ago. But I definitely remember that one.
You quit or you got fired?
No, I'm gonna tell you how that turned out, man. These motherfuckers, they hired me, and then I worked for like 2-3 months, whatever. And I took a drug screening for it. I wasn't sure if I even passed a drug screen. I knew my urine might have been dirty. Of course it was dirty, but some kind of way, the whole situation still fell through. So I ended up going to work, and then like 2 months, maybe 3 months down the line, they called me in the office or whatnot. I hadn't done anything. Hell, it was slow mainly. It was like a lot of slow days and shit. So, but they called me in the back office. Was like, dropped like a folder down on me. It was like, is there a problem? It was like, yeah, we was looking through such and such, and we see that you failed your drug screen. For when I first started the job. Now it's down 2-3 months ago. That shit was crazy, man. So that's how that shit happened, and that shit came back up, man. I was out of there.
What's the worst thing you put your parents through?
Oh man, probably getting shot, going to jail. It was a couple bad situations. Mainly, especially those two. That whole situation, I remember me getting shot. That was like 2009. I fucked around, got shot, turned around. When I got out the hospital, like a few days later, I go to jail. I ain't even healed up all the way, so it's like, it was crazy. But that's probably the two.
Now, what's your message to the youth?
My message to the youth, man, definitely stay in school. Education is key. Knowledge is definitely power. The more you know, the more money you'll see. Stay focused and, try to keep good people around you.
Now let's talk music a little bit.
Yeah.
When it comes to the music industry, what do you hate the most about it? What's your biggest pet peeve with it at this point?
Oh man, pretty much, I guess the styles, a lot of it would be, the same. Of course, I know I'm probably not the only one that feel like that, but it's the style of the music, It's not, people I feel like it could be more creative as far as, the sounds and the deliveries and stuff like that.
Now, do you blame the artists and the music industry for that? Or do you blame the consumer and the listener for accepting that?
I guess I couldn't really blame nobody but, the person who's, I feel like as far as, dealing with that, you can listen to music, and I'm sure, if this artist sound like that artist, it's not hard, it's not hard to tell, even for you being an artist. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can listen to your music and listen to their music and tell the similarities. Like, I feel like back, coming up, like listening to music, a lot of music was different. I mean, it was the same, but it was different. Like the style of flows and, even the beats and whatnot. But I mean, I can't really blame nobody, for the art, because it's, it's work even putting music together. So I respect all artists, you know what I'm saying, as far as the work and, their art, as far as this music, how the music go and how they put their music together. But I can't really blame no one for it, People like, different things. People like the same things. So if it sounds the same and it's, it sounds just as good, then I feel like, the buyer would buy into it and they would like it. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, to each his own as far as the style of music you choose to make.
In the studio, top 3 things you need in the studio.
Oh, man, water, gas, chicken wings.
From where?
Shit, Wingstop, preferably lemon pepper. I'm good.
What kind of water?
Smart water. I love the smart water.
Craziest studio story, if you have one.
I do got one, man. I'll never forget. I was at the studio, man. Damn, which studio was it? Was I in Augusta? I wasn't even in Augusta, actually. I was up here in Atlanta recording. I want to say I was at headquarters or some shit like that? I think I was at a studio, man, and I was recording a song or whatnot. I never forget, I was recording a song, and the dude who was engineering me, he's doing the engineering work. I don't know him, it's my first time meeting him. I'm just booked for studio time, but he's the engineer. I'm recording the song, and I'm in the I'm in the glass booth, and I'm talking to him, getting the music right. And the door just busts open. You see what I'm saying? I had a tool on me and shit. So the door busts open, and I reached for the motherfucker, and the dude who come in just started beating the shit out the engineer dude. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about somebody with his baby mama type shit. Like, I mean, I'll never forget it, man. Like, it was crazy. Like, he come in, I just heard, fuck nigga, baby mama, you my baby mama, you this baby mama, and like, he beat it, like he going in on him, and I'm just sitting there with I don't know neither one of them. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's going on? That shit was crazy, man. And that whole situation transpired. The people out the office or whatnot comes around, the police pulls up. I got to stay in the studio. I can't pull off. It was crazy, man. So I ended up getting that session for free, man. Shit, $100 an hour too, man. I was booked for like 6 hours or something like that, man. It was like 30 minutes until my first hour. You see what I'm saying? It was crazy. I just got there. I never forget that shit, man.
What's the realest song you ever wrote so far in your whole catalog of music?
Definitely, that Out My Mind. Probably one of the realest songs I ever wrote. Like, as far as everything I'm dealing with, or I've been dealing with, bottled up, and being really released to where you can really hear the passion and the pain and the aggression in the music, and it just comes from what I've been through and what where I come from. So definitely that Out My Mind.
What's that record about?
Pretty much just the situation. As far as me jumping into the music industry, me switching up what I was doing to fall into the music industry, me having to sacrifice some of the things I was doing to focus on this music industry, situations that went down in the streets, and pretty much everything I really been through, just bottled up in one. You want to really get to know me, that song say a million words as far as about where I come from and who I am.
Risk versus reward. What's the biggest risk you took for your music career so far at this point?
Oh, man. Probably can't say that on camera. But pretty much just really risking I would say more so sacrifices than risk. You see what I'm saying? Like things I had to give up, you know, to really focus on my music career. Just really got down, just getting out the way of what I was doing, you know, in the streets as far as, you know, getting to the money, how I was getting to the money, you know, running up and down the highway and shit. But that's pretty much it, man. Just really walking away from it all, you know. That probably was, you know, I would say more sacrificial than me taking a risk. Just, you know, changing the people that were around me, you know, on a daily basis and, you know, the situations I was putting myself in on a daily basis. So I would say more, you know, those are sacrifices I made as far as jumping into the music industry.
What are your keys to success?
Just hard work, man, and consistency, you know. Just those two right there, man, you can't lose. Definitely hard work and consistency and, you know, grind and investments, making the right investments. And I think those are key in being successful in the music industry.
So what you got going on right now?
Right now, man, I got the single out, Get To It, featuring Blac Youngsta. But shout out CMG, the whole camp over there. I just shot the visual for it. You know, it's online now, YouTube. It's uploading the World Star as we speak. Just YouTube, Gutta Child, featuring Blac Youngsta, Get To It. Shot and directed by Mike Hayes with Gravity Tunes and Digital Music Cards.com. Also check that out. What's out now? I have an album out now entitled A Gift and a Curse. It's on iTunes, Amazon, Google Tidal, Beats Music, Spotify, you know, all major online stores. The single that Get To It is on there as well. I got the Out My Mind track. You know, it's going crazy also that I was telling you, you know, explaining. It's pretty much explaining, you know, my step into the music industry and, you know, what it took and what I've been through as far as to get where I'm at. I got running an independent record label, FTOD Entertainment, stands for Fighting Toward Our Destination. RNO, it's called Real Niggas Only, and running with Gravity Tunes as well. It's a digital music app, so check that out as well. It's that iTunes, Google Play. It's free. Download Gravity Tunes, Tunes with a Z, GRAVITY online, you can catch me. Facebook, I barely be on that, running that, but Facebook.com/FTODENT. Instagram @Gutta Child 706. That's GUTTACHILD. It's pretty much, you know, it's pretty much it.